It's Wednesday and it's a show night. I have gotten several messages, a couple of emails since I started doing this particular exercise 3 years ago, 4 seasons in about 3 years up here in the mountains in Colorado. For those of you who are just catching up or just tuning in, welcome, by the way. I run a program called 13. It's a theatrical seance experience at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, the hotel where Stephen King got his inspiration for The Shining. We draw an interesting tourist crowd year-round, and so I complete some of the flavor of the hotel by conducting the kind of seance experience you would have had in the early 1900s, in the beginning days of the hotel itself. There are no electronics, there are no screens. It is me and an intimate audience of up to 13 people, and we recreate that kind of an experience. And I get I get almost all kinds that come up there. I get true believers, the people that come with their equipment to see if they can electronically find a ghost or a spirit in the hallways. I get the interested, but not entirely sure, the people that are looking around like this could be fun. Don't know that I believe in it, but let's see what happens. And, the true skeptics. Generally, these are people who were brought in by the middle crowd, by the people who are unsure but are certainly curious. What I don't get, and this surprised me, and it surprises a lot of people as well, is I don't get a lot of pushback. I don't get a lot of people who claim that I am dealing with demons or consulting with dark forces. To be honest, I got a lot more of that performing on the street, just doing card tricks and magic tricks. I got a lot of those kinds of pushbacks. But then I came to realize that the evangelical people, the spiritually, let's call them spiritually conscious people, and the people that would want to push back at such a program of mine, don't buy tickets. They're not the kind who would put money out to go to a seance, or even, I suppose, come to a, in quotes, haunted hotel. So I really haven't had any of that in 4 seasons up here. I'm aware of it, and I have ways of conversing with that point of view, but it hasn't really happened. I'd be willing, if you have questions about any of these things, post them in the comments, and I will certainly address them on a future video. But I do get these questions, the things that come to me, the messages and the emails that come to me. Considering classic seance is a ritual of sorts, what do you do to prepare and, to some extent, protect yourself before the show? Well, tonight's a show night, and I've already started preparing. Generally, just to put my mind in the right state, I will get up and watch the sunrise over the mountains. I've kind of gotten into the habit of doing that regardless, just doing it anyway, because it's good for my soul. It's good and calming. I used to get up and check my phone. I used to get up and check the news, and I don't really do that anymore. I am committed more to finding the beautiful things in life before I start taking on the more difficult. So the ritual, the setup, the beginning really starts on the day of, the first thing. I will later, I will have some tea, make myself a bagel or something for breakfast, and then answer emails or, prep the day's work like this, like doing videos like this and working on the blog or posting some interesting things on Instagram or TikTok for fun. And I do these things for fun. And then I'll set aside some time for writing. It is the time of my life where the mentorship and the teaching part is going to come more into play. So I'm preparing for that by putting words on paper, putting words on a screen, producing rather than consuming. Hopefully some of the wisdom I've picked up in the past almost 35 years of performing like this will be useful to someone else, useful for the next generation coming up. And also to leave some kind of a legacy. These were my words. These were the things I believed in, and I'm putting them down. And you can take them or leave them. but I hope it does assist someone else. Once I get to the theater, once I have showered and changed and put on my uniform for the evening, my suit and my tie, and I make sure that all the little parts of my sartorial presence are acceptable for what the hotel wants and for what my boss wants, the way the visual they want to be seen. Because when it comes down to it, I am representing them and I am playing a character. Like a magician is an actor playing the part of a magician. I am an actor playing the part of a seance apparitionist, and I take it very, very seriously. It's not to say that I don't believe in what I'm doing, because I do very strongly, but I also recognize that this is theatrical. So, once I get there, I start with the ritual of the room. This is just a phrase I've come up with in my head. I walk through the space and I dust where it needs dusting and I vacuum where it needs vacuuming. And there is a helper that will clean the seats and make sure the table is polished and the room looks acceptable. I check all the visual aspects of the room, the items that are placed on the shelves, and the script. I'll go over the script in my head a few times. There are 4 possible different performances that you might get depending on what spirit gets chosen by the audience. There are several different possibilities. So the program stays fresh for me because I'm not always presenting exactly the same experience. And I've had several audience members who are coming back season after season after season, and they get to see something fresh. They get to see something new, a new perspective. Though the feeling of the show maintains, me, when I'm putting myself into it. But I check around the room and make sure the chairs are placed where they're supposed to be, and I look to see where the shadows are falling at any particular time. I light the candles, and those aren't just for illumination. They're setting a mood. They're setting the way the room actually looks. They've been very, very carefully customized to where they go and how they are seen. I check my cards, the tarot cards, the books that I'm going to use. I go over the guest list and just get a feeling for who they are. And then I get quiet. And I will either meditate about the upcoming event or I will take a few moments just to be thankful, just to extend gratitude out into the universe. I am a very, very lucky man to be where I am and to be able to do what I do. And I don't forget that. I keep that first and foremost when I do. And when the doors open, the ritual is complete. The room is set. I am set. My attitude is in the right place. My heart is in the right place. And I have my head focused on what we're going to do next and how it's going to be. And once that door opens, the audience becomes a part of the cast. They don't actually realize it in those terms, but the story hinges on the stories that they tell, what they're bringing into the room themselves. And I never know what that's going to be. And that really keeps it exciting a lot. I don't know what attitude they're coming in with, what questions they might have, how they're going to react to the history or to the things happening around them. Are they coming in nervous? Are they coming in excited? Are they coming in a little petulant, maybe a little angry because it's not where they want to be? Got to deal with all of those things. So a lot of it just begins the day of getting a good night's sleep, setting aside the pressures and the stresses of what's happening in the world, because I have a job to do. And to do my job, I have to remain focused and not uptight and overstressed, even about the job itself, but just to do and to use the gift that I've been given. And that's how you prepare for a seance, Charlie Brown. Those are all the rituals for the Stanley, for the seance show. It's an entirely different thing doing a magic show. But I still stand in the back and be thankful. I stand in the dark and I just turn my eyes upward and I'm just grateful for the opportunity, not just the gift, but the opportunity to use it and to use it to the best of my abilities. Do you have any rituals before you step into the spotlight? Or even just doing a big meeting or a presentation for your work? I'd really like for you to share those in the comments. What do you do to prepare when you have to step up in front of a group of people? Even if you're just delivering news to some friends that might be hard to take, or something exciting that's going to change your life. How do you prepare to deliver what you want to say, what's on your mind to say? I'd like to talk about them in person. I'd like for you to see what this show is all about. If you find yourself in the area of Estes Park, love to have you as an audience member. And always, I welcome all feedback. That's not to say I'm going to change myself or change anything, but I would like to hear how you perceive it and the way that you see it. And that goes for these little videos too. I'd love to hear how you respond to what I have to say. And if you have any questions or curiosities about what you'd like to talk to me about, or to talk to you about, this is the backstage stuff. This is the things that go on before the act begins. As always, because of what we're here, if you'd like to I'd love for you, if you like this, enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I could certainly use more watchers and more feedback. Ring the bell, because the next story's coming, and I don't know what it might be. There's going to be at least one show in this fashion of interesting things that are happening in the seance chamber, because they happen. Man, they happen. And I'd love to tell you about that. Anyway, that's what I'm going on this week. Middle of the afternoon, I'm resting, relaxing, drinking my tea, preparing for the strangers that are going to become friends. I hope you got something good out of this, and I hope there's love where you are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.